Good morning, everyone, and happy Sunday. It's the beginning of the week. And you know what else? It's the beginning of a brand new month. That's right. I love when months begin on a Sunday, especially this one. It has been what many would generously describe as kind of a rough year for a lot of people. I was kind of looking at a list of all the rock and roll folks that we lost this year. Um, some from COVID-19, in fact, but here's the thing, and there's no getting around this. It's a beautiful life if you choose to perceive the beauty in it. And I, well, I got a little bit off track there. Basically, what I want to jump on and say is, first of all, it's been um, a good year in a lot of ways too. One of the things that I've got a lot of gratitude for is the fact that I decided to start this business virtually to help as many people as possible, and because I kind of like playing on computers. They're fun. This is the thing that I decided to do um, late in life relative to a lot of people. Folks will get out of college, work for somebody for a couple of years, decide what it is they really want to do, and get into that. When I was that age, I was doing other things. I'll put it like this: I've been a musician since I was a teenager, and I decided to chase a music dream that really wasn't very lucrative, and did a lot of other things that go along with that that were less than smart. It was a long time ago, and now we've come to this point many years later where I've figured out what I want to be when I grow up, and I've been doing that for 3 years. Well, actually, 3.5 years now. Owings Tax and Accounting was created in June of 2017, and the first of a month, whether it falls on a weekend or not, of course, I'm going to be curious. I open up the books, take a look at things, and I'm so happy and so grateful that we have had our best month to date since the beginning of the business. And I have the best clients in the world. I love you all. Okay, so um, going into that, um, we did make the decision to go virtual and try to reach as many people as possible 3 years ago. And the result has been this year that, in fact, it was actually very good for business because of the obvious reasons. Our hearts go out to anybody that needs to serve people in person. I remember I went and rushed and got a haircut on the 6th of March because I had a feeling they were going to shut down the salons, and they did for a while, actually about a month and a half. Um, that kind of thing. Grocery stores, these people, anybody that works in retail, and something necessary like that. Uh, there's been a lot of job losses. There's been a lot of creative financing and government intervention, and through all that, a lot of people have been struggling and have not been able to do so well. And I went for a bike ride on my favorite trail yesterday. Actually, decided to roll downhill from my house all the way down to South Nevada, my favorite um, maintenance place, and it was a downhill ride. Basically, I got to go behind the Costco in North Nevada all the way down to South Nevada, and it was awesome. But near the last several miles of it, I could not help but notice that the homeless population, uh, the displaced people of our city, are actually kind of growing in numbers, and this is of a concern as a veteran and a former Army guy. One of the tragic things about um, modern day society is the high incidence of. I'm collecting my thoughts here. I really know what I'm going to say. Um, there is something that I became aware of several years ago. Actually, it's been longer than that. I'd say about 15 years ago. In the United States, we average 22 suicides a day from post traumatic stress disorder related to combat service. And that number makes me want to cry every time I think about it. And this is something that we could do something about. And one of those things that I pray for with intention that gets better. We're basically creating a situation where a lot of people are developing mental illness that did not have it when they were growing up. We don't learn how to feel these ways when we're little kids, and it's sad, but at the same time, um, and because of this, I managed to come out the other end of numerous different things that could have done better as a youngster and a young adult, and I've come out the other end with a service-based a company that I have a lot of gratitude for my clients for, and we're experiencing growth over here, and I like to believe that it's a matter of frequency. I just basically believing that it can happen, and also um, kind of getting over the fear. You go into something and you decide to tell people that you're going to be expert at this, and then you have to do whatever it takes to make sure that you're doing exactly what it is that you're telling people you're able to do. So I'm kind of wandering a little bit, bouncing around on several points, but that's what I do here. And I just kind of genuinely want to say that I'm so grateful that the business has grown to the point where I'm able to say that we've had our best month, and there's more to come. And the people that continue to come to us uh, requesting service and needing the kind of things that we're providing, we're just so grateful for you all as well. So I want to share something. One of the things that's been very rough is what I believe to be a 2-year long election campaign. It seems like it's just been going on forever. And one of the things that I do, and I'd like to share with you guys to make sure that Facebook doesn't drive you absolutely crazy with this sort of thing, is simply this. If something is bothering you that somebody else says, and you have a temptation to answer it, just ask yourself a couple of questions. Pass it through a couple of filters. Do you really need to say something? Do you really think you're going to change somebody's mind? And most of all, do you really need to read the negative stuff that you see? There are a lot of people out there that I just absolutely do not agree with. And I'm certain that everybody listening to this, whether live or later, can agree with me. You're just not going to agree with every single person's viewpoint. If it bothers you, or if you want to feed the high frequency and the energy that you're trying to create in this world, um, all you have to do is just tune it out. You can just click unfollow. You don't have. You can still stay friends with these people. Just don't follow their part of the feed anymore. That basically adjusts the algorithm so you see more of what you do want to see, and it still remains kind of a friendly way to continue to be able to use this awesome medium. I know that I have reached out to people, folks that I knew back in the 80s, whose a thought came up in my mind. There is a waitress in southeastern Pennsylvania that I knew when I was in my second band. And I was like, I wonder how she's doing. And I did a little bit of searching, and she's still out there and still beautiful and still working her butt off and has a beautiful family. And I could not have thought of connecting with somebody like this um, in such a way 30 years ago. So there's a lot of good in the world, and there's a lot of good in being able to communicate with people in this way. So um, I want to share something that I read this morning that was so right on. I'd like to read the whole thing, but I'm not going to do that. There's a local spiritual leader with whose congregation I had participated, both as a music volunteer and as a worshiper. And somebody had asked her why she doesn't say much about the election, and as a minister, she responded that she has some limitations and can't make endorsements, and I can't either. So I absolutely resonate with that. But here's the thing that I want to read to you. Um, she's encouraging you to vote and has already done so, and says your voice is so important. No matter what the Electoral College does, your vote is an energetic signature and informs the frequency of love and life. Let's parse that a little bit. The frequency of love and life is simply this. There's a force in the universe, no matter how you believe or what you believe in, that basically responds to what you put out. you know that if things are not going your way, you stub your toe getting out of bed in the morning, and then you drop the toothpaste or whatever, your day starts spiraling downhill. And it's because basically you're kind of feeding that into that. And you can do the other thing too, where you wake up with simple gratitude and reflect on how fortunate you are for the things that you do have, and more of that comes into your life. Who's old enough to remember those little transistor radios with the one earpiece? Okay, and it ran on a 9-volt battery, and used I grew up near the beach. We'd take that down to the beach and listen to I think it was a KHJ. That's it. Yeah, it was a. They're probably still in existence. These guys were like very commercial, and they played the top 40 hits all the time. And being able to tune that in, so you got that little dial, and you're trying to get the frequency just right, and that's sort of how I feel about why Owings Tax and Accounting is now starting to experience some real growth and some real success, is because I've been kind of messing around with that dial and trying to get that tuned in. So I encourage you to do the same in whatever you do. And I am a champion of the small business entrepreneur, both here in Colorado Springs, Denver, Pueblo, and across the entire United States. Remember, we do taxes in all 51 states if you count DC, and probably Puerto Rico too. I don't have a Puerto Rican client yet from the island, but see, here's the thing: is you put out a frequency of helpfulness, of success, and genuine empathy, and if you do this for your people, it will come back for you, and hopefully, I'm doing this for you as well. So I want to kick off the November month of gratitude with this live little statement that I'm making here, and wish you all an abundant and prosperous and healthy remainder of 2020. I believe that November is my month of gratitude, and December is a month of rebirth. And though things are not perfect, things are getting better. And remember, if you fall down, you cut yourself, you bleed, eventually the bleeding stops. And further down the road, broken bones heal, and cuts scab over, and we get better. And we get better here too. So I love you all. Let's have an amazing month, okay? Happy Sunday. We'll see you soon.